Hale, Blackwater. Operational life. Viewer discretion advised. The rain was relentless as I approached the service stairwell. Sheets of water ran off the streetlights in molten rivers, and thunder rolled low, shaking the buildings around me. Just another late night in the wet, dark streets. I pushed the dripping gate open, ignoring the cold and the static in the air. Before this, I thought an abandoned subway station would look damaged. This one didn't. The station was officially decommissioned 12 years ago. Public access restricted, listed as structurally unsafe in city records. Transit maps removed from public listings. No street signage. No mention in updated route plans. And yet, everything still worked. The platform was clean. The lights were on. Benches were bolted to the floor, cold and evenly spaced. Transit maps still hung behind us, yellowed but readable. A digital arrivals board glowed above the tracks. Northbound, 12:01 a.m. Southbound, 12:01 a.m. The seconds weren't counting. I remember thinking how intentional that felt, not broken. Paused. Blackwater was the only reason I was allowed inside. Not officially, of course. The city denied all access requests to the site. Structural hazard, environmental risks, ongoing review. Every excuse was vague enough to shut conversations down. Blackwater didn't ask permission. They had standing agreements with agencies that preferred silence over answers. I entered through a service stairwell hidden behind temporary fencing and warning signs that looked newer than they should have been. Someone was still maintaining the illusion of danger up top. Below ground, the station told a different story. Air moved through the tunnels in slow, controlled breaths. Metal clicked softly. Somewhere far away, water dripped at a steady pace. Everything felt normal. That was what made my stomach tighten. Blackwater contacted me 3 nights earlier. No paperwork, no digital trail, just a secure line and a calm voice that didn't waste words.
This station was sealed after an internal audit. Early transit records did not align. Arrival and departure times overlapped. Crews were logged as present on platforms that officially never existed.
The authorities buried the site. They reclassified it, restricted public access, locked the doors, removed it from maps. Then they waited to see if the problem would stop. It didn't. What remained were handwritten maintenance logs stored beneath the platform. Original documents, never digitized, never destroyed. Blackwater wanted them because they proved the problem wasn't recent. Evidence gives them bargaining power. I turned the camera on and walked the platform. The arrivals board flickered. At the far end of the platform was a maintenance door marked authorized personnel only. Someone had scratched a symbol into the paint. A broken circle split by 3 uneven lines. I had seen it in Blackwater briefings. A containment mark. Once that mark went up, no one was supposed to fix anything beyond it. The city did not seal the station because they didn't know what was wrong. They sealed it because they knew enough to stop trying. That mark shouldn't exist on a public transit system. The corridor beyond was narrow and low. Pipes and cables ran overhead. My footsteps sounded heavier here, like the air resisted movement. A wall clock read 12:01 a.m. Old thing probably ran out of juice. I kept walking, but my chest felt tight. I was suddenly aware of my own timing, my breathing, my steps, the slight delay between intention and movement. The next clock still displayed 12:01 a.m. That was when fear settled in properly. The station wasn't failing. It was being held. The stairwell led down into a small operations room carved into bedrock beneath the platform. Filing cabinets lined one wall. A reinforced desk sat in the center. On the desk was a thick folder wrapped in plastic. Relief hit hard, followed immediately by suspicion. The authorities had sealed this place, but they had not destroyed the evidence. They had hidden it. I opened the folder. Handwritten logs, train numbers, crew names, arrival and departure times rewritten over each other. Some trains arrived 3 times without leaving. Others departed without ever arriving. One entry was circled so hard the paper nearly tore. 12:04 a.m. My watch vibrated. It was exactly 12:04 a.m. The lights dimmed, not flickering, but stretching. My ears popped. The room felt thinner, like it was being viewed through water. I knew something was behind me before I turned. The space near the filing cabinets bent inward. A shape stood there that didn't belong to a single moment. It looked layered, incomplete, like several versions of itself failing to align. I felt wrong, standing in front of it, like I was the error. It took one step toward me. The clock's change. 12:04. I ran. The platform came back too fast. The floor collapsed beneath me near the tracks, dropping me into a shallow service trench. Pain exploded up my leg. Sharp, immediate, honest. Not broken, but bad enough. I dragged myself into a crawl space beneath the platform, clutching the folder to my chest. Dust filled my mouth. My heart hammered so hard it blurred my vision. Behind me, footsteps echoed. They never matched mine. Sometimes they came before I moved. Sometimes after. Every digital display read 12:04 a.m. That's when I understood. It wasn't hunting me. It was maintaining containment. The crawl space narrowed. Metal groaned like it was being pulled backward instead of crushed. Panic finally broke through my training. I didn't want to be another unresolved entry. I burst out into a service tunnel I didn't recognize, my shoulders slamming into the wall as I stumbled forward, half running and half falling on legs that barely remembered how to work. The tunnel angled upward, rainwater streaming down the concrete like it was trying to push me back. And for a split second, I thought it would close behind me the way everything else had. I dragged myself through the final stretch, fingers slipping on wet stone, until the tunnel spit me out behind the station into open air. Moonlight cut through the storm clouds, just long enough to catch me as I collapsed onto the gravel. The rain soaked through my coat, making its way into my sleeves. Thunder cracked above me, a violent punctuation to the chaos I had just escaped. Real air. Real sound. My leg throbbed. My hands were cut and shaking, and yet the city around me seemed almost normal again, the storm masking what had just occurred below. Behind me, the door slid shut, with mechanical calm. Too calm. The weekend traffic passed nearby. People talked. The city moved on, unaware. I sat up and pointed the camera at myself. My watch read 12:07 a.m. Behind me, above the sealed street entrance, the digital sign flickered once again. 12:04 a.m. I dragged myself across cracked concrete. Blackwater will get the evidence, and the authorities will deny it existed. The station will remain sealed, not because it's unsafe to enter, but because something inside it refuses to move on, and it's still keeping time. Hale, Blackwater, end of field log. Evidence secured.